Hello, my desktop publishing students. Now, this is a new one for you. First of all, we're going to talk about forecasting with a trend line and showing you how your sales are going, whether they're going up, down, or what they're doing. And then we're going to use spark lines, which are basically little mini charts or mini graphs to show you how your sales are moving. Are they going up, down, straight line, or what are they doing? So you can use a trend line with a column or a line or an area chart. But before you get the trend line, you've got to have a chart. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to create the chart first of all, and then we'll put the trend line in. So what I want to do is I want to get the information for the techno frame. So if you look under frames, you see techno. But first of all, we're going to start at the beginning. So I want you to click in cell A5. Okay, click in cell A5. Now hold down your control key and I want you to highlight from C5 to F5. So we've picked up Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, which are your 4 quarters. Now keep your control key down, click on A8 where you see techno, and then highlight from C8 across to F8. So now you can see you've made a perfect rectangle. You have frame and the 4 quarters, you have techno, and you have the 4 values. That's exactly what you want. So now press function key F11, your favorite, and you've made your chart. So very easily. Now just take a look here for half a second. You should be able to see Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 on your screen, and you can, all right? But just let's pretend you didn't. So you see this button up here? Switch row column. So watch. I switched it. Now you see the sales. I switch it. Here's your quarterly sales for each quarter of the techno frame. So someday, if your chart isn't the right way, click on switch row column and you'll get it the right way. All right, so so now what I want to do with you is you can choose a style that you like, but I'm not worried about choosing a style. I know you can go here and choose any style that you like. So let's leave it for right now. We don't need to do that in this video. Now, the one thing I do want on this chart is a title. So let's go to, it's on Chart Tools Design. So go to Add Chart Element and Add Chart Title and say Above Chart. All right. Okay, so we've got techno there. So the only piece that I want to put in is projected sales. Projected. In other words, you're guessing, you're estimating. Projected sales for, and then let's put techno frame. So at the end of it here, press the end key, spacebar once, and type in frame. Okay, and again, go shift home. That's your easiest. Put a color on that you like. And I'm going to go with that burgundy. I'm going to make it about size 20. And maybe bold and italics. There you go. Okay, so don't worry about changing the bars or doing any of that. We don't have to do that now. All right, so let's put on our trend line here, okay? So we're going to go to Design. All right, and Add Chart Element, and we're going to go down to Trend Line. Now, take a look. It shows you none, which is selected right now, linear, exponential, linear forecast, moving average, and more things. There's actually 6 types of trend lines, but the only one we're going to deal with is the linear. And the linear is basically a straight line, and it's suited to show you an increase in sales or a decrease in sales. So it only shows you what data you have on the screen. It doesn't forecast or past your existing data. It just gives you the existing data. All right. So we want to have just a plain linear one, but we can go to more trend lines. So go to more trend line options. And linear came out as default. That's okay. That's perfect. And you can see the other ones. Okay. All right. So now it came out as a dotted line. All right. So I want you to click on that line and it's already selected. You can see the blue handle here and the blue handle here. Let's go to your fill and line, and let's go to line and let's make it a solid line. Okay. So let's go here and choose a solid line. Let's make it a little bit thicker just so that it's definitely easy for you to see. And I'm going to go with burgundy just because I use that in the title and I want you to be able to pick it out quite easily. All right. Now let's go back here to our options. So click on this one here. And we want to go down to the forecast group. Okay. And you want to forecast 4 periods ahead. Okay. You want to forecast 4 periods, so the next 4 quarters. So basically you want to see 8 quarters, 2 years worth, okay? And so you'll want to do that. And now what we want to do is, okay, I want to press enter when you put in the 4 there, and you should see now how the chart, you have your 4 quarters that you had data for, and now the slant on the line is just to show you that's where it thinks that your sales will go in 4 periods. Okay? And while we're still here, I want you to go to custom, and we're going to give a name. Oh, hold on here, custom. And we're going to give a name to this, and let's put in here that we want to call it the next 4 quarters. Okay? The next 4. Oh, I want a capital F on that. The next 4 quarters. All right, so that's good. And now let's add a legend here. I want to change something else, okay? So I want to add a legend so that you can see. So we want to go to Add Chart Element and add a legend on the right. Okay, add a legend. So note that the blue bars tell you it's the techno frame, okay, and the red line is saying the next 4 quarters. So that's why we customized it. Now here, let's click on this series here, right click again, go to select data. And remember, maybe we want to say techno frame. So let's click on edit, and here it says equals techno. They've given that name, but we can type in our own name and type in techno frame. All right, and say OK and say OK. So now you see techno frame, so you know exactly what you're talking about. All right, let's click on the trend line again, and I want to go back to line and fill, and I think the line should be a little bit thicker. So I'm going to move it up to 3 points. Also, I want to go over with you that we have arrows here. Now, the beginning type arrow can look like any one of these. So I want you to choose one. It doesn't matter to me what one you choose, but choose something, okay? And choose a size, and let's choose fairly large size so that you can definitely see it, all right? And then the ending arrow, choose something different so you get to see it. And again, choose a large size just so you get to see it. So do you see how the next 4 quarters changed? The icon here, and you saw how we changed the ends here. So you could put on any end that you wanted. If I said the beginning arrow should be an arrow pointing that way, then you see the symbol that it changed to. Okay, so just something for you to know there. Now, there's one other thing in options here that I want to show you. Click on the legend here. Okay, click on the legend. And now watch. This is a subtle thing, but you see the chart here? The chart area ends at the end of those grid lines. So watch this. Do you see this one box? Show the legend without overlapping the chart. Now, take the check mark off, and you see how the legend is now on the chart. And you can tell because here's the grid lines, okay? It's a small, subtle thing, but again, you might need to save space one day, or there may be a reason why you want to do that. So always pay attention. This is on the chart. This is off the chart. And you look at your end of your grid lines and you can see that. Also, you might have said to me, you know, I think this makes more sense if you say this year for the blue instead of techno frame, and this is what it's going to be down because it's projected sales. All right, so I click here. Oh, hold on here. I click here. I right click. I go to select data. I say techno frame. I say edit, and I want to put in here this year. All right, and now you say okay and say okay again. And so now it says this year. So you said, okay, I can see here's what our sales were for this year, and I can see that you're projecting for the next 4 quarters. So, you know, it's whatever you want to put in your legend that makes sense to the chart you are displaying. All right, so what I want to do now is go into Sparkline. So save your work right now. Go to sheet 1 here and go Control S to save. All right, I think what I'll do is I'll stop here and I'll do the sparklines in another video. So we'll just stop.